Hey guys, welcome back. I'm doing a video here for World of Warcraft, The War Within. We're going to be focusing on the best routes for herbalism and mining. So let's get into it. What you need to know, what you need to have, and then I'll give you my opinion on a few things. So what you're going to need is you're going to need the add-on routes and then routes import and export. Now don't worry, I'll put links in the description for everything that I'm telling you about for add-ons and the routes and everything. Routes is going to be able to do something like this with your map. Um, you'll be able to put little lines and color them and stuff like that all over, so you can actually have a path to follow when you're doing your mining and herbalism farms. And the second thing, the other add-ons that I think you should really install personally, I believe they're going to be a godsend for you. I've been using this one for years. It's called Farm HUD. But basically, it converts your minimap into an overlay on over your screen, to where you can start seeing ore nodes and herbalism nodes just by looking at them on your screen. This will really help you from straining your eyes from looking constantly up to the right-hand side to your minimap. If you're farming, you know, you really don't want to be straining yourself too much as far as like you want to be able to just follow the line, loot what you see, and go. You want to be streamline this as much as possible. So Farm HUD is going to help you a ton. Now, another add-on that I really enjoy, they just updated it recently. It's called Loot Appraiser Reloaded. And this one is such a great add-on because it'll tell you how much gold you're basically making uh, per hour or per the time you're farming, right? Based on what you're looting. So it'll give you a region market value average of like what they think it's selling for right now. The prices I know are way up and down, up and down. The markets are kind of, even with TSM4 when I'm using that, markets are, the tooltip add-on data just doesn't update enough for the current market prices, but it'll give you a decent amount of close, I guess, to what the actual value is you farmed. Let's say you farmed for 30 minutes and you farmed X amount of ore and herbs. It'll tell you what you've pretty much made. Great add-on, kind of gives you an incentive to just keep on going to make that extra, 10,000 gold or something like that, right? Plus, it gives you a timer. So if you say, well, I'm only going to farm for an hour, it'll have the timer there sitting for you. You can actually see how long you've been farming, and then you can just bounce out after an hour, So it's really, really helpful. I've used it in transmog farming and instance farming and stuff like that too, so it's really cool. All right. So let's get into the routes and my what I've been doing here. So personally, I went with herbalism and mining because there's a huge difference between how quality ranks of the T1, T2, and T3 materials work in War Within versus they did in Dragonflight. Dragonflight crafters were inspiration fishers, basically. They were shooting for that inspiration proc to get rank 5 material or rank 5 crafted for people. It didn't really matter what quality of material they were using, either rank 1s, 2s, or 3s, right? They just plopped it in there, got an inspiration proc, and rank 5 gear came out, right? So it kind of really hurt crafters, and it has in the past, and even before the rank system, in the past, where the material didn't really matter late or mid and late into the expansions, right? We've seen it happen with Dragonflight. A lot of the materials didn't really sell for a lot. They were like dirt cheap. You could buy like 10,000 for a couple thousand gold, right? I mean, it's like, so materials tail off as the expansion goes uh, in Dragonflighter as it went. Well, with the War Within, they've changed it completely, and it's amazing what they've done. They've learned from their mistakes, and they got rid of inspiration. So now profession crafters have to have skill, the max amount of skill on their character, or in the profession. And then not only that, that'll get you to a point, but then it's the material quality that'll push you up further to the rank 5. And currently, you need rank 3 materials to craft the best stuff in the game, like profession tools and trinkets and potions and stuff like that, right? Everything you needs rank 3 materials. So this is what I believe will really help dual gatherers continue to make gold longer into the expansion, and maybe even late into the end of the expansion than any of the other expansions we've seen before. Uh, because of the requirement, they can't cheese the crafting system by using low rank materials. They have to use the rank 3s. So that's going to be a really, really big help for us gatherers. And right now, hell, I think on some of my routes I've been doing 30,000 gold an hour. Some of my other routes that I've my longer ones that I do for an hour, I think I've made 60, 70,000 gold. And I understand that right now it's all hype. The expansion hasn't been out for very long, and prices are going to start to plateau. They're gonna start hitting that that level, but T3 materials are going to still be required, and I think the T3 materials are still going to stay at a higher price for a very long time, especially when Season 1 comes out and stuff like that, and people get their professions up high enough to start crafting the max level like enchants and weapons and stuff like that for crafters, and it's just going to be really, really nice to see that that longevity when it comes to the T3 materials for gold making. So let's go into my routes, and I'll give you my opinion on some of them. Okay, so um, let's go with let me open up routes. So to open up routes, all you gotta do is type /routes. It's very simple. Okay, and then so if you look over here and you click on the underneath add, you'll see routes. Just click on that, and you'll see a little box here, the import box. The strings that I'm going to put in a paste bin in the description, you'll just copy the string, and then you'll just copy paste it into here, and then you'll hit accept, and it will just create a little subsection down here of whatever you copied, right? I would assume that if you're doing herbalism mining, you want to copy all of them, so you'll have all the zones and all the routes that I've made. Now, there is a trick, by the way, too. Let's go to the Isle of Dorn tab down here, this little subsection here, and then we'll see. You see that I have two different colors here for the map, right? I've got an orange and a green one. Those are color coded for a short path and a long path. The orange is my long, the green is my short. Now, let's say you're using FarmHUD and you see both of them, both the paths, right? And you get confused on which way to go. Well, you could go over here, let's say to the long path. You don't want to be doing the long path. You want to be doing the short path that I made, right? Okay. So you'll go over here, and right up next to the line color, you'll see this hide route. And you just click on it, and it'll get rid of the orange line on the map. It won't delete it, it'll just hide it so that you can focus solely on the green path as you're farming. Very helpful. I like doing that when I want to focus on one path over another. I just hide it real quick, and then it kind of just pigeon-toes me into one direction. So, so let's go over the zones and my opinions of like what are the best zones and all that stuff, and what I've found out since I've been farming. Okay, so Dorn, it's amazing. This place, the short path, like I said, was giving me about 25 to 30,000 gold an hour, and the long path was reaching about 50 to 60,000 gold an hour. Now this is obviously, it's been about a week or so since I made these paths, and I've just been leveling up alts and stuff like that. I haven't really been farming, so I'm sure that the prices maybe dropped hourly, maybe a little bit, but still, you're gonna make a ton of gold in no time flat by doing this farm, either one of them. So the short path that I have over here, it's just really quick, right around this little peninsula, this little island jut out here, and then the rest of the orange path, the long, is the entire like outskirts of the island. You're basically just farming the cliffs and the water areas and everything like that. You're just going around in circles. Very simple. Dorn is just a beautiful, like calm, wide open space. There's not a lot of enemies that you have to deal with, if ever, in any of these paths. So it's like I said, very easy farm, very quick. Just throw on a movie and just start farming. It's super nice. Now the Ringing Deeps, I hate this zone. I really do. It reminds me of a more claustrophobic Zeralite Caverns, and I do not like this place to farm because most of the time, I would say 60 to 70% of the time, you're going to fight enemies next to a node. The mob density in this area, in the zone, is insane. So you're gonna be spending a lot of time killing enemies, um, versus looting or herb or mining nodes. It's just I was here for 20 minutes and gave up. I was just like, I made the path because it seemed like a decent path that I was doing, and I was trying to avoid, large density areas for mobs and whatnot. But it didn't matter. There's just so many enemies in this area. So, I would skip this place if you can. But if you want to try it out, I do have a route for it. It's a long one single long path. So you can download that. Now Ashkahet's my other favorite one. Ashkahet is basically the Isle of Dorn underground. It's amazing. There's very few mobs that you have to fight, if any. Like I said, and the route, the zone itself, just feels so open and spacey. It's very big. There's not too much verticality when it comes to like cliffs and gorges and stuff like that. There's a few, but I mean, they're nothing's crazy. And it's just a really nice, calm little farm. I mean, I've got the green one, the little short path around the Weaver's Lair, that comes all the way around here, just farms basically the waterways and stuff like that. And then I've got this really long path that goes all the way into the little cubbies and, around here to these other places. Both of those paths, tons of gold. I mean, either way, you're still making, I would say, 30 to 70,000 gold, depending on which path you're doing. It's just like Norton. Um, Maybe a little bit less because the time's been going on and the prices are readjusting and whatnot. But that's a really great place. The other thing too is Ashkahet has a secret, a little bonus in the expansion. If you can get this thing called a file of true sight, it increases your perception. Now, I'm only using the rank 2 version. The rank 3 one is just kind of expensive. I guess for me, um, to really, to be honest, once you drink the rank 1, you can see there's camouflage mining nodes and herbalism nodes in Ashkahet. Now, this is the only place it works. So, but Ashkahet has these little, like I said, camouflaged mining nodes that are scattered all over the farming route. And sometimes it's so crazy, there'll be a camouflage node right next to a node you're already mining. So you can double up your farming in Ashkahet significantly with one of these potions by just seeing the camouflage nodes. And serious, it's just insane how much gold you can make extra just by buying this potion. Now, I have an alchemist that I leveled up, and luckily I was able to actually get the file learned, discover it, after blowing myself up like 10,000 times to get it. But those experiments, whoever designed that system just needs a giant wedgie. But so the file of true sight is amazing when you are farming in Ashkahet. Get them. You'll make your gold back in no time, just by buying like the rank 2s or something. So they're super helpful. Now the other zone, the next zone, or the last zone, Hollowfall. Hate this place. Absolutely hate it. I mean, don't get me wrong. The zone is beautiful. The crystal, the entire story, it's great. I mean, the art is amazing. Farming it, for herbalism and mining is absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. This place has so much verticality, so many cliffs, so many valleys, so many gorges, and so many enemies next to mining nodes that it makes it almost worse than the Ringing Deeps, to farm in. It's just not fun for me. It seems like I'm always having to stop and kill something. I'm distracted. Like, I'm always having to fly up and down and watch my vigor constantly. So I did make a single short path because obviously the zone is very small. It's not, uh, it's no Isle of Dorn or Ashkahet size, but you can try farming here if you want to. But personally, like I said, I don't like it. I still think, like I said, Isle of Dorn and Ashkahet are probably the best places to farm or in no in herbs. They're so good. Um, so that's my opinion on the zones. Um, as far as like which one's the best, and all that stuff, and like what my nitpicks about the other two zones are. Yeah, I like I said, I really enjoy the style of dual gathering this expansion. I didn't really enjoy it in any other expansion because there really wasn't a point to dual gather, um, because the ranking system for the materials didn't really matter. But now with the rank 3 being required in a lot of crafts, it is definitely worth uh, dual gathering. So, but anyways, before this gets too long-winded, I just wanted to post this up for like these are probably the best paths you can take for herbalism and mining, and I hope this really helps someone out, either making a farming tune so they can use the materials for their professions, or someone looking to make quick gold and become, rich just really quickly, because you will. So, anyways, thanks for watching, and until next time.